accumulate in the hopper, it will cause air turbulence and eventually disrupt airflow and cause performance of the cyclone to drop. Got the point? Also, check the differential pressure. There is a meter gauge, the barometer. Take a look. Is it similar to the manual? Take note. Note it down. Assalamu alaikum. Pak Khalid is back. If you are an environmental auditor, students and resource persons in the field of applied environmental sciences and management, then this video is just for you. Before we proceed though, if you are a Muslim and now already in the mosque for the Friday prayer khutbah or in any religious lecture or preachers, please don't watch my video. Kindly pay attention to that one. I wish all of us Jannatun Naeem. Ameen. So this video is about auditing the Cyclone Dust Collector, a popular air pollution control equipment. Here it is. How does it work? Let me share what I have learned from mechanical engineers, consultants and maintenance people over these years in this simple way with you. Remember, I am not the expert, but I used their expertise in my work. Have you ride a merry-go-round or probably drive around sharp corners, roundabout or drifting? That's the feel of centrifugal forces. Now, this is what this video is about, and this equipment is about centrifugal forces. In this cyclone dust collector, dust matter are forced into it, and the centrifugal force of the cyclonic action pushes the dust to the outer edges of the cyclone body. These dust particles, usually in sizes more than 20 microns and have a higher specific gravity, in other words, heavier particles, usually metal dust, and will touch and slide around the cyclone walls and thus having friction. This friction effect slows down the carry-over speed of these particles in a spiral motion around the cyclone wall, causing them to sink downwards through the hopper and into the collection drums or bins. The cleaner air from the center of the spiral is pulled back up and flows through the filters. So, in theory, only cleaner air will pass through these filters and emitted out through exhausts and stacks as clean air. I'd rather say cleaner air. Thank you to the vortex structure on top of the cyclone. If the cyclone system is not airtight though, in other words, leaking, air from outside will seep in and disrupt the stoichiometric cyclonic flow, therefore causes some turbulence. In this case, the dust particle will be induced to flow in the center of the cyclone and got sucked upward, thus deposited around the filter instead of sinking into the collection bin. Got it? Let's see what auditors should look for during the audit. Let's check the first bullet. After you have done your homework, that is, went through the design earlier before arriving to the site, I believe you have started making visual observation. I call it eyeball engineering. Those who have attended my training knows about it. Between what was documented as to what is built and operating. Compare. First, look at the tip of the exhaust stack. See anything, smart auditor? Any deposits there? Look at nearer structures or buildings. Take a look. See any dust of the same nature, not dust from highway construction, okay, being deposited at all those structures? Take a look closely. Check for the dust size report from them. It's important. A chemist's report should be available to justify the size of dust particles which actually enters this equipment. So you compare this with its design document. There is a criteria for dust size in their design. Any changes or difference? Make your finding. Yes. Any structural modifications too? Take a look. Note that too. Let's look at the second bullet. It's better to check the composition of those collected dust. Do they fall under hazardous waste or scheduled waste? In Malaysia especially, then run a further check on how these wastes are being managed. Cross-check your finding with their SOP. Also, pay attention to the hopper and the collection bin. Okay, how often are they being emptied? Ask. So check SOP on this and compare. When dust accumulate in the hopper, it will cause air turbulence and eventually disrupt airflow and cause performance of the cyclone to drop. Got the point? Also, check the differential pressure. There is a meter gauge, the barometer. Take a look. Is it similar to the manual? Take note. Note it down. Please ask them what is done when the pressure difference changes. Supposed to be around this area, it gets out of the range. Listen to them and compare with the manual. Next, the filter changing schedule. A good operation keeps logbooks. If they have those maintenance logbooks, check how often are those filters being changed so far. Track it down. What does the manual say about filter changing frequency? What does it mean if more frequent has been changed than it should, or otherwise less frequent than it should? Write your comment in the column below. Let's discuss, okay? Visually, your eyeball engineering in practice now should be able to spot the presence of dust in around joints, along the piping system and around the system structure. Presence of identical dust of interest means it's leaking somewhere. Ask if they know how to look for the origin of the leak. That is the point source. Assuming that they have discovered changes in differential pressure. You see, from my personal encounter of leaking cyclone system thus far, I've jotted down the following parts of the Cyclone Dust Collector, which leaked before in my days of audit and working with them. They were the door seals, the tube sheet or filter membrane, some membrane even rupture, even holes. I remember auditing a brass tap factory. There's a lot of brazing, grinding, and all this dust goes to this metal cyclone dust collector, and the filter socks got a lot of holes. Air pipeline broken or even corroded. And there were times when we saw the bends, the joints, are corroded, and there is some pressure difference. Cyclone walls rusted or even broken, and at some point we saw even holes at the cyclone walls due to thinning because of the abrasion effect of the metal dust. Punctured, yes, all of which was indicated with signs, especially the barometer or the pressure gauge. So, as for the third bullet, I believe you have covered this in your documentation review or audit. Is what you are seeing on the site now be reflective of those documented reports that you saw? Anything peculiar or inconsistent? The fourth bullet, take a look, is also rather document review in nature. At this point, you may verify what you found from the documents pertaining to personnel competency, specifically on Cyclone Dust Collector operations. It could be competency validity that you might like to check, hours of hands-on operation, or just a supervisory function upon an outsourced competent people working for the plant. Check it out. If you are yourselves a competent person for this equipment, verify and justify the operator you are the right person for their know-hows and technicalities pertaining to more in-depth and on-the-job scope of work. Then you are the right person to audit this equipment, because you yourself is a Cyclone Dust Collector competent person. Vamos! Hence, your judgment on this is much sharper, as you knew this equipment very well. I believe this is the snappiest video to help smart auditors like you to get smarter. Do enjoy your work, okay? And also, I hope you are kind enough to share this video with others. Please like it too, even if you don't really like it. It's for the YouTube algorithm. Alright, help this old man, and do subscribe if you want more to arrive to your homepage at earliest. Oh yes, I'd really love to hear comments from you too. We can discuss. Okay then, thanks for watching. All the best for your environmental relentless endeavor. See you in the next video, inshallah. I end with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.